Welcome to lesson number 3 of 5-Minute Theory. In this lesson, we're going to learn about time signatures, and we're going to learn about how we form notes into measures using bar lines. So let's start off at the very top by writing our name in. Sometimes it takes kids 5 minutes just to write their name in the top. Okay, so we got to move quickly, otherwise this will take 15-minute theory. Okay, we want to get as quick as possible on this. So the first thing that we're learning at the top of this lesson is about bar lines. Bar lines separate the notes into measures. So a bar line is this line right here that goes from the top of the staff down to the bottom of the staff. So basically a bar line will separate this into a measure and this into a measure. A double bar line tells you when you get to the end of the song. So it's a thin and a thick line. Could be just two lines together. But bar lines basically tell you that these notes are in this measure. So I call that measure 1. And then I separate a bar line. This would be measure 2. So we utilize bar lines just to kind of keep notes organized. Every measure, depending on the number of notes in it, kind of has a different feel to it with the time signature that we're going to learn next. So when you see a piece of music, you'll often see a fraction at the beginning of a piece of music, and that is called a time signature. The top number of a time signature tells you how many beats are in a measure. We also say, instead of beats, we say counts. How many counts are in a measure? The bottom number tells you which kind of note gets one count or one beat. So on this one, you can tell that the top number tells us we have 4 beats in a measure. The bottom number, that's a 4. Right now, we only know one type of note, which is the quarter note. Okay, so if we think of a fourth as a fraction, 1/4, 4 on the bottom tells us that a quarter gets the beat or receives one count. The quarter note receives one count. Okay, it's almost like a fourth of a dollar is a quarter. Okay, a fourth of the time signature is a quarter note. All right, so we're going to fill in the blanks on number 1 to get the correct answer here. This time signature is not a 4 on the top, so there are 3 beats in a measure. What type of note receives one beat? The quarter note. This is just reinforcement so that you get some repetitive learning on time signature. Number 2, there are 2 beats in a measure. Really important that you fill this out, even though you can do it in your head. The more that you do things with your pencil, the better you're going to remember them. All right, the quarter note gets, I say 1 beat. Some people like to say receives 1 count, which is actually probably better. Number 3, how many beats are in a measure of 4/4 time? All right, that would be beats in a measure is a top number, so 4. What kind of note gets 1 beat in 5/4 time? Okay, it's not about how many beats, it's about what kind of note is the quarter note. Let's move on to the second half of lesson 3. This one is very simple. Remember that the top number in the time signature tells you how to separate the notes into measures, because we know if this number is a 4, when we get to 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to draw a bar line, 1, 2, 3, 4, to separate those quarter notes into measures. So we use that time signature to tell us how this works. So on the drawing the blanks here on number 5, first thing we're going to do is draw our bass clef with our 2 dots. Then we're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Since this number is a 4, anytime I get to a 4, I draw a bar line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, bar line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is the end of my song here, so I'm going to draw a double bar line. Not a very pretty double bar line, but a double bar line. All right. Number 6. Let's start off by drawing our bass clef. Don't forget your dots. Now I've changed the number to 2. So if I go 1, 2, I don't keep going 3, 4. I draw a bar line after every 2. So I'm going to do this pretty quick. 1, 2, bar line. 1, 2, bar line. 1, 2. Once I get to the end, I'll try to do this better. Double bar line at the end. All right, you get the hang of it. Number 7, draw my bass clef with my dots. 3, so I say 1, 2, 3, bar line. 1, 2, 3, bar line. 1, 2, 3, bar line. 1, 2, 3, double bar line. All right, when you draw your bar lines, try not to draw a big old line like this. We want to just go from the top of the staff to the bottom of the staff and keep it in that frame. All right, so you might ask yourself, or you might ask others, why do we have different time signatures? Well, a time signature can tell you how many beats are in a measure, but it also kind of informs a musician for how a piece feels when you play it. So if I'm in 2/4 time, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, has a completely different feel than 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I can have time signatures that have all kinds of numbers on the top. I can have 5/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can have 6/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every one of those time signatures feels a little different. So that's why we have to learn as musicians to read that time signature to know what the music is going to sound like. All right, if we've completed this lesson, congratulations. Make sure that everything that you're doing really looks good on the page. And if you have that, got your name in written at the top of the page, you can tear it out, hand it to your director, or just move on to the next lesson.